Good morning, 8Cs, receiving school students and teachers.
Good morning, Miss Irma.
You may take your seats. All right, 8Cs and receiving school students. Before we move on to our topic for today's lesson, I'd just like us to go through a homework which I gave to you. All right, I think I gave you this homework a few days ago, and it was on urbanization, or the total population of urbanization. Now there was information or data given receiving students where you were to look at that information or that data and construct a line graph. Construct a line graph using that information. Now, let me see. Paulus, can I have your exercise book, please? Just to check the figures there. Okay. All right, the information of that, the data was given 1966. The population of urbanization was 100,000. For 1971, it was 232,000. 1980, 1990, and 2000. So each of those years had a total population 303,300, 1990, 607,800, and in 2000 the population of urbanization was 686,301. All right, so from these figures here, this data, this information, you are to construct your line graph. Now, receiving students, I hope you did construct your line graphs. So here I have the years, right? I have the years, the horizontal, on the horizontal axis, right? The vertical axis, what do I have? The total population of urbanization. So 1966, 100,000. All right, so it's 100,000 if you look closely. If you did construct your line graph, you would have put a dot where 1966 in the middle, 1966, and beside 100,000. All right, 8Cs. 1971, 232,000. So you see, I have 232,000 here, and I put a dot somewhere here. Okay, 232. Same with the others. And then once I've done that, what I did was I joined these dots here, right? Can you see? So the last bit was 2000 was 686,300. All right, and my title for my line graph showing the total urbanization population in PNG. So what you were to do was you were supposed to construct a simple line graph using this data here. So I don't know, 8Cs, how many of you completed your line graphs, or receiving students? Hands up, those of you who did construct a line graph. Anyone? Okay, good. Hands down. Anyway, all right, let's move on, HCs and receiving students. Our topic for today's lesson, class, I reminded us that we were going to touch on using the land. All right, using the land. Now, I wonder if you completed your homework, HCs and receiving students. Did you complete your homework? Yes. All right, good. Now, your homework, what were you supposed to do? All right. All right, in a short paragraph, briefly describe how land is used in your village or community. All right, can I have a volunteer to read, please? Receiving students. Can we have one of you to stand up and read your short paragraph? How your land is used. How land is used in your village or community. All right, class. Nakawas? All right, let's have Nakawas. And then we can have the others to read.
Mining, build houses, stores, classrooms, etc. We use land for farmer and we also use land to build roads and bridges.
All right, good. Let's have another. Caroline.
In my village, land is used for many different purposes. The main purpose the land is used is for growing food crops for consumption and selling them for any income.
Good. Samuel.
In my village, land is used in many ways. It is used for growing food, growing cash crops, and also land is used for building houses.
All right. But I think all your paragraphs, okay, what you've written about how your land, how land is being used, it's all the same, right? What the uses are. Right. Let's have a look. Okay, land use. What's one use of land? What do we use our land for? All right, building houses. Okay, let's just have a look here. Oh, can I have a volunteer to come up here, please? And would like to come up here? Okay, come and press this. Stand up here. Okay, just one. Yeah, one. All right, land use. Okay, one use of land, mining. Yes. All right, mining. What's the next, Stephen? All right, we can use the land, all right, to grow plants and use for medicine. Right, next. Gardening, okay, we use land for gardening. Class. Clothing, traditional clothing, we use the land, all right, we get the plants, all right, from the land to get our traditional clothing, so clothes for traditional villas. All right, move on. Settlements are built, right, using the land. Plantations, right, we have large areas of land that is used for growing cash crops such as cocoa, coffee, right? Copra plantations. Yes, Stephen? Tools, all right? We can get things out of the land to use for tools, traditional tools, all right? Housing, yes, we build houses on the land, right? We have housing. Tourism, yes, tourism. Wait. Our land is also used for tourism, all right? We attract tourists by them coming and visiting the places, visiting the landforms, all right? Volcanoes. What else? Mountains, all right? Climbing mountains, all right? And all that. Okay, thank you, Stephen. That's all. Right, so some uses of land. HC's receiving students. Now, if there's any more that you can add, do so, all right? Any other uses apart from these that we've already mentioned, if there are any other uses that you can think of, then you can also mention them, or you can also write them down. All right, class, let's move on. All right. Can we have someone to read, please? Who would like to read? Receiving students? Have one of you to read? All right. Rose? Or Priscilla, sorry.
Subsistence gardening is the most widespread form of land used in Papua.
Right, who can tell us what is subsistence gardening? Or subsistence farming? Subsistence gardening or subsistence farming? You forgot? I'm sure in our last year we looked at subsistence farming, subsistence gardening. All right, Bronwyn?
Growing crops for your own consumption or to sell them to get an income.
All right, thank you. Growing crops for or growing food for your own consumption, or also growing crops to earn an income. Yes, subsistence farming or gardening. All right, good. Okay, let's see. Class, more than 80% of Papua New Guineans are subsistence farmers, all right? 80%. All right, 80% of Papua New Guineans are subsistence farmers, meaning, right, they grow their own food for their own consumption, or they grow their own food in order to make a living or earn an income. The the system used by these farmers depends on the kind of soil, the slope of the land, and the type of climate. All right? So, for example, the type of climate can, up in the highlands, we know it's very cold, right? It's very cold. Are they able to grow coconuts up in the highlands? No. All right. Whereas here in the down the coast, the climate, all right, is hot, or let's say we are able to grow coconuts. All right, so it varies the type of climate. Farmers depend on the type of climate. Right, if you haven't finished, can you copy from your friend, please? So we'll move on because of time. Otherwise, all right, class read commercial activities. All right. Remember last year we looked at this commercial activities and subsistence farming, right? Ways that people make money from the use of land. All right. Some examples of commercial activities. One, come on. People making money from the use of land. Commercial activities. One, netizen.
Plantations.
Plantations, all right. Having plantations, cocoa plantations, coffee plantations. What else?
Gold mining.
Mining, all right, good. Mining, yes. Plantations. What else? Cutting down trees, timber, logging, all right. Those are examples of ways that people make money from the use of land. All right. So, now have you got your atlases there? All right. Receiving students and 8Cs, if you have your PNG Primary School Atlas, please, I'd like you to turn to page 42 of your Primary School Atlas. All right, where it shows the food production, types of main food that grows in an area. Right, page 42. All right, you're all on page 42. Who doesn't have? All right, page 42. I'd like you to look at page 42. Okay, again, it shows the types of, or the main types of food grown in an area. All right, you have the key below the map. Right, important staple foods. Or main food, we can say staple foods, right? All All right, I'd like you to answer these two questions using page 42 of your atlas. Number one, what is the main staple food of people living in the interior? All right, interior meaning inland of Papua New Guinea. What is the main staple food? Receiving students, write that question down quickly and you answer that. That's number one. You got it? All right, those two questions are based on the atlas, page 42, food production. Now, once you've answered those two questions, oh, sorry, you have one more question here, question 3. Which province's main staple food is sago? Which province's main staple food is sago? Look at the word main staple food. So that's only one province there with the main staple food, sago. All right, once you've answered that question, 1, 2, and 3, your textbook, grade 8 textbook, resources of PNG, page 15, looking at the world map, some of the major food crops in the world. Class, receiving students. Okay, you've got a question for that. right, what is the main food crop that grows in countries along the equator? Okay, that question is based on this atlas here. Not this atlas, sorry, this map on page 15 of your textbook. All right. All right, looks like we have finished, yes. 8Cs, thank you. And receiving students. All right, let's go through our answers. Thank you. 8Cs and receiving students. All right, number one, class. Someone read the question and the answer. Give us the answer, please. All right, who hasn't had a turn yet? All right, Aaron, can you read out the question and give us the answer, please? All right, you others, just correct your answer.
What is the main staple food of people living in entire PNG? Sweet potato.
What was your answer?
Potato.
Potato. Receiving students, you agree with Aaron? All right. The main staple food of people living in the interior of Papua New Guinea is sweet potato. Sweet potato, good. All right, number two. Someone to read the question and the answer. Receiving student. Why do you think sweet potato is the main staple food in the interior or inland? Why do you think it's the main staple food? Hane?
Why do you think sweet potato is the main staple food?
because in the interior areas of PNG, it is cooler and sweet potato grows better in the cooler areas.
All right, good. Hannes answer. Receiving students, I hope you also have an answer to what Anne has given. All right. She said in the inland, all right, the climate is cooler in the inland, and sweet potato can grows well in cooler climates. All right, good. What's another answer? Maybe another answer, the soil is fertile. All right. In the inland of Papua New Guinea, we have the land is rich, or the soil is rich in nutrients, and sweet potato can grow well in the inland, or soil is fertile, right? All right, number 3. Thomas, can you read number 3, please, and give us the answer?
Which province's main staple food is sago? East and West Sepik. Sepik.
Isipik. All right, receiving students, do you agree with Thomas? Which province's main staple food is sago? The main staple food. All right, you look closely at your map. All right, you look at the key. Netizen.
Manus province.
All right, Manus, did you hear? Manus province, because if you look at the map, you'll find that the province is covered in purple, right? And it says purple, the purple color is sago. Okay, let's look at the next question, please, class. All right, can we all read what is the main food? All right, anyone? Eunice? All right, you others quiet, please.
Tree crops such as bananas and root crops such as yam.
All right, thank you. All right, let's just go through our summary for today's lesson, class. Number 1, read. Used in PNG. All right, examples: plantation, logging, mining. Those are commercial activities. All right, examples of how people, ways that people make money from the use of land. They use the land in order to make money, commercial activities. Subsistence farming, growing your own food, growing food for consumption, all right, or in order to make a living. So more than 80% of Papua New Guineans are subsistence farmers. All right, thank you. We'll stop here. Our keyword for today's lesson, class read, food crops. And in our next lesson, we'll touch on using the water or water resource. That brings us to the end of our lesson. HCs and receiving students, thank you very much. And you all have a nice day today. Thank you. Okay, thank you.